the other party was a refined and charming upper-class woman. After interacting with her a few times, Madeline knew that she was Eloise Patton, also known as Mrs. Montgomery. She was of the top 4 rich and influential families of Glendale. For some reason, Madeline felt a close and dear connection with Eloise every time she talked to her. The Montgomerys had a lot of assets under their name, and Eloise was responsible for the jewelry. She was very satisfied with Madeline's first draft. Due to some special reasons, Eloise invited Madeline to her home the day she was supposed to hand in her final draft. When she got there, she found out today was the 24th birthday of Eloise and Sean Montgomery's precious daughter, Brittany Montgomery. Madeline then remembered today was her 24th birthday as well. Looking at Brittany, who had been pampered like a princess since she was a child, Madeline could not help but feel envious. Ever since she was young, she did not know what was the love of a father and a mother. When she had the chance to be someone's mother, God decided to give her such a short lifespan. She could feel a dull pain in her heart. Madeline took a deep breath and smiled. No matter what, she needed to make $300,000 for her grandfather's surgery. When Madeline was about to go over and wish Brittany a happy birthday, Meredith wandered into her vision. She was dressed stunningly and had her makeup nicely done. She was holding Brittany's arm as they took selfies together. Meredith and Brittany were good friends. Madeline did not expect this. To prevent any trouble, Madeline wanted to turn around and leave, but Meredith stopped her. "Maddie, it is you. I thought I was seeing things," Meredith greeted with a soft and gentle voice. "Why are you here?" Madeline looked at her coldly. "It's none of your business." "Why is it none of my business? You're my sister and today is my best friend, Britt's, birthday. Everyone here is rich. What if you do something shameless like last time again? What should I do then?" she said softly, but the glint in her eyes was extremely sinister. Madeline chuckled. "Sister? I don't have a two-faced sister who'd seduce her younger sister's husband like you." "You?" Meredith's face froze. It was evident that she was feeling awkward. At this moment, Brittany walked over. She was dressed head to toe in branded and luxurious clothing. When she was standing next to Madeline, who was wearing something unpresentable, she looked dazzling. She looked at Madeline with interest and then came to a realization. So this is your shameless sister?" When Madeline heard this, she was shocked. It was evident that Meredith had talked badly about her behind her back. "Britt, it's fine. She's my sister after all. I'm just not destined to be with Jeremy." Meredith sighed sadly. Then, she looked at Madeline. "Maddie, you should go. Don't try to steal something like last time. How would this kind of disgusting person get invited to my birthday party?" Brittany's eyes were filled with contempt. "For Mer's sake, you should go now. If not, I'll get someone to kick you out." Madeline held the draft in her hands and smiled calmly. "Miss Montgomery, your mother was the one who invited a disgusting person like me here." Brittany and Meredith looked at each other, shocked. At this moment, Eloise walked out of the house and Brittany approached her immediately. She pointed at Madeline and said something in Eloise's ear. Instantly, Madeline saw that there was a hint of rejection and disdain in Eloise's eyes when she was looking at her. Madeline knew something was not right. However, she still smiled and greeted, "Mrs. Montgomery, I brought over the drafts that you wanted." "Please go now, Miss Crawford," said Eloise with an oddly calm tone. "I won't accept any of those drafts. As for your deposit, I won't take it back. Just treat it as the cost of lost labor. Please don't come to me ever again. I won't allow the jewelry design of Montgomery Enterprise to be tarnished by a dirty woman like you." After she heard that, Madeline knew she was finished. She was not bothered if people humiliated or misunderstood her, but this business was too important to her. "Draft? Maddie, when did you become a designer?" Meredith was shocked. "Are you plagiarizing the designs on the internet and then claiming them to be yours like how you did when you were graduating?" "Maddie, why did you let yourself go so much?" Meredith looked at her in disappointment. When Eloise heard this, her face turned even darker. She glared at Madeline in anger and left with her daughter. Madeline felt a pang of pain in her heart after Eloise looked at her with such a disgusted expression. She wanted to chase after her to explain herself, but someone pulled her back. When Meredith saw that there was no one around them, she displayed a sinister smirk. "You see, you lowly peasant, don't even think about competing with me for the position of Mrs. Whitman. Madeline, you'll know what's the consequences of fighting over a man with me soon enough." Madeline clutched the rejected designs in her hand and glared at Meredith's pleased smirk. She could not help herself and lifted her hand to slap Meredith heavily across the cheek. It's still unknown what will happen to me, but I can clearly see that you have my fingerprints on your cheek now. Madeline, how dare you slap me, you b*tch. Meredith was livid. Madeline smirked coldly. I'll hit you whenever I want. This is not the first time anyway. You can go complain about me to Jeremy after you recompose yourself. He loves your b*tchy act so much. Meredith touched her cheek and ground her teeth in anger. She wanted to slap Madeline back, but she dodged easily. Then, she turned around and left. Madeline knew that b*tch would definitely complain about her to Jeremy. However, she did not expect Jeremy to call her so fast. Come to Crawford Manor. Now. The man's tone sounded calm. However, Madeline knew that it was the calm before the storm. After what happened that time, Madeline did not go back to Crawford Manor for a very long time. When she stepped through the door, she saw John and Rose staring at her aggressively. It was as if they wanted to swallow her whole. On the other hand, Jeremy sat on the sofa with cold air surrounding his entire body. Meredith was sitting next to him while sobbing sadly. Madeline rolled her eyes in disgust after she saw Meredith's hypocritical act. She walked over and said magnanimously, I'm here, Mr. Whitman. Are you going to lecture your legally wedded wife on behalf of your mistress? After she said that, Meredith stopped sobbing. Jeremy lifted his head as his deep eyes looked at her piercingly. Madeline, did you forget what I warned you about? His tone was so cold that Madeline's heart shivered. Jeremy, it's fine. I don't blame Maddie. It's all my fault. You're Maddie's husband at the end of the day. I shouldn't love you. However, Jeremy, I can't stop myself from missing you. Meredith reached out her hand pretentiously to stop the man who was about to lecture Madeline. You dumb child. You're still trying to help this thankless wench at this moment. Just look at how hard she hit you. John walked over with anger and pity. Madeline finally saw the exaggerated handprint on Meredith's face. She had only hit her left cheek. However, both sides of Meredith's cheeks were printed with deep red handprints. Plus, her face was swollen and there was blood on the corner of her lips. It was apparent that someone did something to the woman's wounds after she left. Madeline scoffed without being able to control herself. If you know you're at fault, then why are you still pestering my husband? Are you not disgusted by yourself, Meredith? Meredith's face froze. There was dissatisfaction in her eyes. Madeline felt slightly pleased with herself. However, after a few seconds, she received a hard slap across her face. Slap. John struck her and Madeline immediately started seeing stars. She could taste the metallic taste of blood on the corner of her lips. Before she could process this slap, she received another slap on the other side of her face. Then, someone kicked her on her ankles, forcing her to kneel. Madeline staggered and fell on the floor without warning. When she was about to stand up, John stepped on her right hand. Was this the hand that you used to slap Mer? Madeline grunted in pain instantly. John was using all of his might to torture her. It was as if he wanted so badly to crush her bones. Then, Madeline heard his pompous reasons. Jeremy, don't think that I'm going too hard on her. I'm her father and I can't stand seeing my own daughter being bullied like this. After Mer gives birth to that child, you'll know how it feels to be someone's parents. As he said that, he rubbed his foot on the back of Madeline's hand. Madeline's hand started to bleed again after getting stabbed by glass shards. She did not yell out in pain nor did she beg for mercy. Jeremy did not say anything. His handsome face was as cold as ice. To Madeline, he was tacitly agreeing to John's actions. Jeremy, my face hurts. I'm so scared that my face will never recover. Meredith sobbed gently at this moment. Jeremy frowned and glanced at Madeline in disgust. She deserves this. Then, he held Meredith and said, You dummy, I promise that your face will be as beautiful as it was before. Come. I'll go rest with you in your room. His comforting words successfully made Meredith burst into laughter. At the same time, it successfully struck Madeline down. No, you should accompany Maddie. I'm worried that Maddie will be jealous. Meredith pushed Jeremy away hypocritically. I won't even care if this evil woman dies from jealousy. Jeremy walked past Madeline with an unbothered look on his face. He turned around as John lifted his foot. Then, he stomped down on Madeline's wrist a few times. Madeline gritted her teeth as her red and tearful eyes looked at Jeremy and Meredith's backs as they went upstairs in each other's arms. A pang of pain shot up in her heart. After Jeremy walked into the room, John lifted his leg and kicked Madeline on the shoulder. He did not go easy on her at all. "I went easy on you today. If you dare to bully Mer again, I'll ask someone to chop your hands off." Scram. Madeline gritted her teeth and climbed up from the floor challengingly. However, she did not submit to them. "If Meredith dares to provoke me again, I'll still slap her." John did not expect Madeline to say that. When his brain registered what had happened, Madeline had already walked out of the door. When she walked out of the house, she heard Rose grumble in an agitated voice, "Look at her arrogant face. Why didn't you stomp on her more just now? Mer said that B*TCH is drafting designs for people to earn a living. I want to see how she'll continue being so arrogant after her hand becomes useless. I want to see how she'll make money." It started raining lightly on this pitch-black winter night. Madeline came to the entrance of the psychiatric hospital in exhaustion. Perhaps this was the only family member who could give her some comfort when she needed the warmth of a family the most. However, today, she did not dare to face Len because she really had no ability to raise so much money for his surgery. When she walked into the door, she saw the nurse who told her about Len's condition running toward her. "I just want to tell you that your grandpa is nowhere to be seen." Madeline could feel her heart sink. "What do you mean by that? Your grandpa's missing." Madeline was stunned. Len was missing. A mentally ill patient was missing. She did not know what would happen to Len. It would be fine if he ran into a kind person, but if he ran into bad guys. She did not dare to overthink. She was about to call the cops when her phone rang. It was an unknown number. Madeline's heart skipped a beat. Her intuition told her that this was not an ordinary phone call. Indeed, after she answered it, a man's threatening voice sounded from the other end of the phone. "Madeline Crawford, your grandpa's with me. Prepare $10 million in exchange for him. If not, you can prepare for his funeral. Don't hurt my grandpa. I'll give you the money, but I really don't have $10 million. You don't, but your husband does, no?" The man did not give Madeline the chance to say anything before he hung up abruptly.